Hello, Incarnate Word. Welcome to another edition of Bother the Fathers. We are your fathers, and we are here to be bothered. So today's episode of Bother the Father is going to talk about the Holy Spirit, and specifically the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So maybe, Father Schrader, what are?
Oh my.
Maybe a little preface for this, we also had confirmation recently. So it is the time of year for such things, and Pentecost is coming up. So, Father Schrader, what are the seven gifts of the Holy Spirit?
Seven gifts, yes. Let's see how many of them I get. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, piety, fear of the Lord, counsel. That's close. Fortitude? Okay.
Yeah, that's seven.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, what are in addition?
High fives all around.
Great. 2 master's degrees each in theology and divinity. Got us really
far. We got the Common Core theology.
Oh my God.
So besides just naming these gifts, what are these gifts?
Yeah, there's sort of dynamics or aspects of the Spirit's life that are poured out for the good of the church. And they're not just at confirmation either. Whenever each of us were baptized, it's sort of like the seeds of the gifts of the Spirit were sown in us. And then as we receive the sacraments, especially confirmation and a priesthood ordination, those gifts are deepened and sort of expanded. And then they build on the charisms, too, that each person is given by God, personal gifts.
Yeah.
But these are sort of like little parts of the life of the Spirit that are given for different situations to live out the faith and to help build up the church.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I was just thinking, I think it was either Aquinas or Augustine, I forget which, talks about the opposites of the gifts. And I found those to be truly enlightening as well. So the opposite of wisdom is foolishness, right? The opposite of understanding is dullness. The opposite of knowledge is ignorance. The opposite of fortitude would be cowardice. Opposite of piety would be irreverence or indifference. And then the opposite of fear of the Lord would be self-centeredness. Because fear of the Lord is actually understanding that God is God and I am not.
Yeah.
So I always found the understanding the opposites are also truly enlightening to many gifts.
Yeah. Or at least even sometimes the opposite helps us to understand what these gifts are.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know, a lot of us might not know what fear of the Lord is, or might not have the greatest distinction between knowledge and understanding and these types of things. And yeah, really, as I like to say, when we're given these gifts, especially in the sacraments, is as if God gives us a wrapped present, a wrapped gift. And we actually have to open it and use it. You can receive a gift and know what it is, know what's inside of it, but actually not use it, and it really doesn't do much for you, unless it's like some collectible or something that you don't actually use. You could be given a great gift and you don't actually put it to use, and in which case, you have it, but have you really used it, and is it really part of you? Not really. And the gifts of the Holy Spirit are sort of the same way. We're given them in the sacraments, but it's really up to us to open the gift itself and to put it into use in our lives. There are many people who have been confirmed or other sacramental graces that just haven't put them to use. They're there. They're waiting to be unleashed for good in the person. To be activated. But it's up to us to be able to actually do that and to develop them and help them to grow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's worth noting too. A lot of people just have a sense of the Holy Spirit, that he's kind of like a fluffy dove, right? When in reality, he's God, third person of the Trinity, and I know that's kind of obvious. But we call him the Lord, the giver of life, the Almighty, right? The Advocate. So he's fully God, and so receiving these gifts are very powerful. And in fact, it is actually what conforms us to the person of Jesus Christ. As we receive and incorporate these gifts into our daily life, we're actually becoming Christ. Right? That's what the Holy Spirit does. Is makes Jesus present in our very souls and in the world. So it's just worth noting that it's often forgotten.
Yeah.
And I think too, just to know that these gifts require engagement, sacrifice, discipline on our part. When I think about the nice things that my parents have given me growing up, it was never like, here you go, and you can trash it, don't take care of it. It was like, here's this nice thing, but you have to take care of it, and you need to, I'm sort of handing it on to you, and then you need to now make it yours. And God does that with us. So the gifts that we've received, God is very generous. He's very lavish in giving them, but then we also then have to protect that gift. We have to nourish it. And many times in the spiritual life, that's going to require, instead of going to our room and immediately turning on the TV or getting online, it means like sitting and saying, I'm going to read a little bit about my faith or grow in my knowledge of God. Those gifts of the Spirit take some discipline and sacrifice on our part in order to grow.
Sure, absolutely.
What is it? Humility is their doorway to wisdom. Is that what it was? Is it
I think so.
Silence? Yes. Yeah.
And we always see that. I mean, the wisest people in the room are usually the people that are, they will speak if spoken to. They will give their advice if asked, but they're not going to impose that. And the fool is the one who's happy to pontificate about everything and anything. Yeah. So
all right, maybe to kind of wrap up today, maybe a fun question. What is the worst gift that you have either given or received?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have many bad gifts. But here's the funny thing about that. One of the worst gifts I thought I received in my life when I was 12 or so was The Lord of the Rings. And I love to read, always have, but at that time in my life, I only wanted to build things, so I was always asking for tools. And my parents gave me books, and I was so angry. And in defiance, I did not touch the books for almost 10 years. And then when the Lord of the Rings movies came out a decade later, I finally read them, and I'm like, why did I wait so long to read these? These are so good. But at the time, my parents still have pictures of me opening it, and you can see just the betrayal, horror, anger, sadness, all on my face. It was just devastating. But I would say, in general, the worst gifts are the ones that are sort of like when someone just got you something without thinking about it. It's almost like, what does this have to do with anything? And the best gifts are always the ones, it may be very simple, but the ones that someone got thinking of you, that's very personal or very meaningful.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
I can think of one that I was given. It was a gift it was at my last parish as I was departing. It was from the youth group.
All right.
And they
so you're not hurting feelings here?
No, I'm not. So
okay.
There was a backstory to this gift. The children, as I call them, for some reason believed a conspiracy theory that I did not know how to tie my shoes.
Oh no!
Generally, I wear slip-on shoes.
Well, you're
for days. Stop it. But I generally wear slip-on shoes, during the week. But I have nice dress shoes, of course, that I know how to tie, and tennis shoes as well. It was started up during like a pro-life trip, very late at night, sleep-deprived kids, and they just ran with it. So I had to create like a hostage-style video, like here's today's paper, kids, and then like I tied my shoes in front of them. But for my departure, they got a children's book for me called "How to Tie Your Shoes."
Oh yes,
that's good.
Yeah, no, I didn't appreciate it because they.
So it's not on your bookshelf.
It is.
Oh.
It is as a reminder that evil exists in this world.
That's good. Well, and you just don't give gifts, so then you never have to worry about
giving
a bad gift.
Exactly. I just give money. Money is such a great
always
gift.
Solid.
It's right. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? Or like offer masses for people.
Yeah, exactly.
For them.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're so holy.
It's so holy, so pious, right?
Good.
Hey, piety. Hey, give the Holy Spirit.
All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes of Bother the Father, and make sure you like and subscribe down below, and go on to the Incarnate Word website to submit your questions for future Bother the Father episodes. Thanks so much. God bless.